Students. So today's lesson is we're going to practice talking about family, right? So last lesson we practiced how to describe people, right? So now we're going to practice describe family relationships, right? Family relationships. So we know what family means. Relationships is what you have between people, right? What is your relationship with your um, it's how we describe how we know people, your relationship, how you interact with them. So let's start by doing what it says. Okay, so it says, look at the picture. Who is in the picture? What are they saying? So we can start by kind of talking about this, right? Who is this? What do we think that they are doing, right, in the picture? And it says, listen to the conversation. So this is a conversation of the picture. So it says, Roberto, Duong, this is my mother, my father, and my sister. Antonio, nice to meet you. Duong, where are you from? And Duong says, I'm from Vietnam. Antonio says, do your parents live here in the United States? And Duong says, no, right now they live in Vietnam. So that's the kind of conversation. So it says, look at the people in the picture, and above, write the words from the box under the pictures, right? So this is kind of just like a guess, right? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just kind of looking and trying to describe what are the relationships between people. So if we look at the picture, right, we can get more information, right? So if this is Roberto in the black shirt, if this is Roberto, this person that was wearing the purple shirt is his sister Lydia, right? So we would say that Roberto is the brother and Lydia is the sister, right? And then from the picture, we know that Rebecca and Antonio, these people are his parents, right? So we would write parents right here, and Roberto is their son, right? Their son. This one, we know that Duong is Roberto's friend, right? So we would say that Duong is the friend too, right? Okay, next one. This one says, discuss the words with your classmates and teacher. So let's look at these words. So we have father, mother. These are the first two. Let's look at these first two. So we have father and mother. Father and mother, right here. Father, mother. So in English, people usually call, their father dad or their mother mom, right? Also, if you have what we would say a variation of this, like if you call your mom mama, if you call your dad papa, people will understand what you're saying, right? Oh, my papa, people would be like, oh, her dad, right? So we have father, mother, right? Brother, sister, wife, husband, son, daughter, children, grandfather, grandmother, grandson, granddaughter. Let's pause and talk about this. Grandfather, grandmother, grandson, granddaughter. So you'll see that when we talk about in English, when we talk about your parents, your mom's mom, your dad's dad, or your mom's dad or your dad's mom, when we use that, we put the word grand in front of the word father, right? So grandfather, right? Your mom's dad or your dad's dad. We're saying the word father, we just put grand in front of it, grandfather. Same with mother, grandmother. You could say grandma, grandpa, right? Same with if you're talking about son or daughter, right? So if you have a son and your son has a son, you would say, this, my son's son, we say grandson. So you use the word grand again to show that there's a space between you. They're not your son, they're your child's son, grandson. Same with granddaughter, right? Your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. We say granddaughter instead of having to say, oh, my daughter's daughter or my son's daughter, my son's son, my daughter's son, instead of having to say that, you just say grandson, granddaughter. And then when we talk about, one level above, grandfather, grandmother. The next thing is aunt. Next one is uncle. Aunt and uncle. So we use aunt and uncle, right? Auntie, uncle, to talk about your mom or dad's siblings, your mom and dad's brothers and sisters, right? The next one is niece and nephew. So niece is your sister or brother's daughter, right? Your sibling's daughter. Nephew is your sibling's son, right? So if your brother has a son, we say, oh, this is my nephew, right? You can call them by their name, but when you talk about the relationship, how you know them, instead of having to say, oh, my brother's son or my sister's son, you say nephew. And if your sister or brother, your sibling has a daughter, you say niece. Okay, the other thing is because of culture, a lot of people define or talk about family in different ways. Some cultures, people will call somebody their sister or their brother, but they don't have the same parents. Totally different parents. They're not related by genetics, by blood, right? But they still call them sister or brother, right? Because they think culturally that everyone that's in your community is your family, right? Now, some of you may be like, yeah, that's my culture. And in kind of American culture, it's kind of, some people do this where they will describe somebody as their uncle or their aunt. And it's somebody who is just a very close friend to their family, right? Their mom's best friend, they'll call them their aunt, or their dad's best friend. They can say, oh, that's my uncle, right? So sometimes people in America, but mostly, if it's like stereotypical US culture, we only refer to people with family titles if they're blood related, meaning you are connected to them by your DNA, by your genetics. So you have the same mom or you have the same dad. You would say my brother, my sister. And if somebody does not have the same mom, does not have the same dad, you would not say brother or sister, right? So it's kind of important to remember that sometimes culturally, how we talk about a relationship with a family changes, right? And that's okay. That's totally good. It's just something to keep in mind when you're talking to other people in the US, is that some people will say, oh, this is my sister, this is my brother. And they mean, oh, this is my close friend, this is my sister. And some people, when they say sister or brother, they mean this is my blood relation. And when we say blood relation, it means you have the same mom, the same dad, the same grandma, the same grandpa, right? You were born, you were a baby in that family, right? And this also kind of gets a little different how people talk about it with adoption. For the most part, everybody refers to their adopted child or their adopted sibling, their adopted brother or sister, and they say, oh, this is my brother or this is my sister. But sometimes people think that they need to say, oh, well, this is my adopted, like they put adopted before it because they want people to know that they're not blood related. So I don't know why culturally this is so important to a lot of people in the US of blood relation. Don't know why. This is kind of out there, but like anthropologists, people who study like human cultures, human beings, it's kind of thought of that the way we define family is basically setting, the boundary for who you can and can't marry, right? So how you define family is who you can marry and who you can't marry. So perhaps the reason people are so obsessed with in the US with blood relation is because socially, culturally in the US, it's taboo or not okay to marry you're someone who's related to you by blood, somebody who's a sibling, somebody who's a cousin, somebody who is a nephew or niece. Like that's not okay culturally. So that's why people are so obsessed with blood relation in the United States. So that's a little out there, but we'll go ahead and remove that. Okay, so we talked about the words. And it says, this one says, look at the picture and write the names on the family tree, then listen and check your answers. So since I don't have like the audio for this, we'll just kind of go through. So we can see Lydia in the previous one and Roberto. We know that they're siblings, right? And we know that Rebecca and Antonio are the grandparents. So this one's kind of, we'll guess and see, who's married to who. So it has the two parts right here where you can put the parents, the siblings. Since it has four, it does look like that Julio, Lydia, Roberto, Sylvia, that they're all siblings. And that Carla and Juan down here look like the children of probably Julio and Sylvia, right? Because they're married, right? So when you look at family trees, this little connecting line, you'll see that this square is connected to the mom and dad. It means that they're blood related, they're a sibling. But when you see it like this and there's nothing above it, it means that they're married or that they have children together. So you can kind of figure out and do that on your own. Or you can just, you don't have to do this. You could probably try and write your own family tree, right? And describe those relations. What is the name of your mom? What is the name of your dad? What are the names of your siblings? Do you have children? Do your children have children? Are your children married? You can talk about those relationships. Okay, so this is more practice. And it says, read the paragraph and complete the family tree. And it says, Ivan and Anya are married. So this one kind of we have to try and infer, right? We need to read this and figure out the information. So Ivan and Anya are married. They have one daughter and one son. Okay, so if we look at this, let's try and think. So if Anya and Ivan are married, we see that there are 3 married people on this, but it also says they have one daughter. They, meaning Ivan and Anya, have one daughter and one son. This married couple has one child. This married couple has 2 children, but it looks like it's 2 sons, right? So let's see if we go here. So this one, let's just say it's Ivan, and this one is Anya. Okay, so we have Ivan and Anya, right? And it says they have one daughter, one son. Irina is the daughter. She is married to Alexei. So this, if we follow, this is Irina because she's the daughter. She's married to Alexei. So we can write Irina, and then this is Alexei, right? And then it says they have one child. Their daughter's name is Irina. And if I scoot down, it'll mess it up. But and then it says Irina and Anya's son is Dmitry. So that means this is the man, right? Dmitry. So it's connected to them. So this is Dmitry. Dmitry's wife is Nadia. Nadia, this is Nadia. They have two boys, Vladimir and Zven. So we would write those in. It's kind of hard to do it right now and make it so you can see. So I'm just gonna clear the drawings, and we'll finish up with the next one. This one. Okay. So this one says, look at the family tree and circle the correct answers. So let's look at this and we'll practice it. So we have Ayumi, Takuya, right? These are at the top. So it means that they're the parents. And then we have all of these people. So it looks like Genki and Yakari are married. Genki is the son of Ayumi and Takuya. And we have Kenji. Kenji is not married. Kenji is single, right? Because there's nobody connected to him, but he's connected to the parents. Right? Then we have Akira, and then Sayuri, Miyuki, and then the bottom we have Ikumi, Yuki, and Toru. So it looks like Akira, Sayuri, their children are Yuki and Toru, and then Miyuki is the daughter. She is not married. So let's go through and try and answer some of these. So Ayumi's husband. So we find Ayumi. This is Ayumi. Ayumi's husband is Takuya, right here. So we'll go ahead and circle that. Ayumi's husband is Takuya. We want draw. This one. Okay, is Takuya. C. Akira's wife. So Akira is right here. Akira's wife is Sayuri, right? So we'd circle A, Sayuri. Genki's daughter. So this is Genki, right? Genki's daughter is Ikumi, not Yakuri or Takuyo, right? It's Ikumi. A. And Kenji's mother, Kenji is right here, right? And if we go up, Kenji's mother is Ayumi, right? There we go. So we look at it and we answer the questions. This is how we can figure out family trees, right? Family relations. Okay. So just like we've been talking about, to be, to have, right? Simple present tense. He, she, is, they are. So you would say, oh, he is Roberto's brother. He is Roberto's sister. You could also say he is my sister, right? When we're talking about ourselves, we say my possession. He is Roberto's brother. He is, or she is Roberto's sister, right? Or you can say, this one says they are for plural, right? So you can use it. They are Lien's children. They are Lien's parents, right? For plural. But you can also say, they are for one person, right? They are Roberto's sibling. And it means you're just talking about one person that does not use he or she, right? So an example sentence, he is Roberto's brother. She is Roberto's brother. They are Lien's children. They are Lien's parents. And when we say have, right, it means possession. I have 2 brothers. I have 3 sisters, right? So we use I have, you have, we have, they have. He has, she has, right? When we're talking about, we can use to talk about relationships, brothers, sisters. She has 2 moms. He has 1 dad, right? He has 4 sisters, right? We can use it like that. So you can practice, talking about family relationships using simple present tense. He is, they are, or you can use have. I have, we have, right? If you're talking about maybe you and your spouse, your husband or wife, you could say, oh, we have 4 children, 2 sons, 2 daughters, right? 4 children. So that's it for the lesson today, and I will see